Hello, this is Sara with Posh Pooch Designs, and today's video I'm going to show you how to make my travel pillow. It measures about 16 inches across and about 9 inches at its longest length here. This is the perfect size pillow to take on vacation. Whether you're going in the car or whether you're going on an airplane, it works great. It has a nice little pocket to stick your earbuds in, or anything for that matter, tissues. It has a nice little strap here with a button so you can hang it on your luggage or maybe just on your arm so you don't lose it like I did. I lost my travel pillow, and then when I needed it, I couldn't find it. And so I decided to make another one. And since I was making another one, I decided I'd show you all how I did it. So what you're going to need to make my travel pillow is you're going to need about 3.5 ounces of worsted weight number 4 in variegated for the body portion of the pillow. Now, you don't have to use variegated. I just used some that I had on hand because, as you know, I lost mine and I just grabbed what I had in my stash. This is an older one. It's a red heart stripes. I've had it for about 4 years, and I got it on clearance, I think, at Hobby Lobby, and it's really pretty. Let's see. I think it's called Breezy Stripe. It's got blues and greens in it and white. It's really pretty. This is what I'm going to use for our demonstration today. Now, that's for the body. For the trim and the little pocket, I'm going to use this Red Heart Love in this soft blue. It's called Bluebell. The other thing that you're going to need is 2 buttons, and you can use anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 1 inch size buttons, and these are just plain little white ones I have on hand. You can use any decorative ones that you want. We're going to be making that strap, and so you'll need to button that when you're not using it so you can hook it onto your purse or your luggage or your bag. And then you'll need one for the pillow so you can button it closed so your earbuds don't come out. All right, we're going to be stitching today with our H-hook. 5mm. You'll need a needle for weaving in those ends and sewing on that pocket and such, and of course a pair of scissors. Also, don't forget to get some polyester fiber fill for the inside of your travel pillow. Now, some people will use old pieces of yarn or socks or other things to stuff into their pillow, but I really like using this one. It's the Ultra Plush. I got it at Walmart. I think it was like $2.97 or something. And you're not going to use all of this. It depends on how much stuffing you want inside your pillow, how tight you want it. I like mine pretty tight, and so I'm going to use probably about 1/3 of it, but I'll show you that portion when we get there. But make sure you got something to stuff that travel pillow with. This pattern is a really easy pattern. It's basically stitched in 1/2 double crochets, and then we're going to put 2 pieces together and single crochet around the pillow. Then when we do the pocket, again, it's stitched in 1/2 double crochet, so it's super duper easy. And you can whip this up really fast. So the first thing we're going to do is make our slip knot. And then we're going to chain 51 chains. So I chained 51 chains. And now we're going to begin our 1/2 double crochet stitches. And the way we do that, we're going to begin by stitching in the 2nd chain from the hook. Here's the first one, and here's the second one. To make a 1/2 double crochet, you're going to yarn over your hook, go in that stitch or chain you're stitching in, and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 3 of those stitches. Now, I like to use 1/2 double crochets when I'm doing pillows because it makes a nice condensed stitch, and it keeps the polyester from popping through those holes. So I will recommend that if you are a loose crocheter, you might want to go down to a G hook because you want your stitches to be nice and tight so that the polyester fiber fill doesn't come out those holes. All right, so let's make another 1/2 double crochet, yarn over. We're going to go in the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3 of those loops. And we're going to do this all the way across our chain, and we'll end up with 50 stitches because we chained 51 and we began working in the second chain from the hook. So 1/2 double crochet in each chain across, and then we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and turn. I placed 1/2 double crochet in each of the chains for a total of 50 half double crochets. So now I'm going to chain 1, and remember, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch here. It counts only as a turning chain. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to begin stitching in the first the first half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, go right in that first half double crochet, and stitch a half double crochet. And what we're going to be doing is stitching 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet across. We're working on the back portion first, and then we'll come back and do each side. All right, so what we're going to be doing is stitching 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet across, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn. Here's the second row. 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet. And this is what we're going to do for a total of 10 rows of half double crochet. We'll chain 1, we'll turn, and then we'll place 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet across, chain 1 and turn until we have a total of 10 rows of half double crochet, and that will be the back portion of our travel pillow. So 1/2 double crochet in each half double crochet across, chain 1, turn, for a total of 10 rows. Now I have a total of 10 rows of half double crochet, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 rows. And now we're going to begin the sides. And I want to show you, I have one already finished because you're going to need to make 2 of these, put them together, and then we'll single crochet around them. Here is the 10 rows, and then we're going to make these 2 little sides like this, one for each side, because then we're going to sew them together to make the pillow. So what we're going to be doing on the 11th row is we're going to place 1/2 double crochet in the first 17 half double crochets. One half double crochet in only the first 17 half double crochets. 1/2 double crochet in only the first 17 half double crochets. Then we'll chain 1 and we'll turn. And then we'll place 1/2 double crochet in each of those 17 half double crochets. And this will be our first side. 1 half double crochet in each of the 17 half double crochets, chain 1 and turn. So since we chained 1 and turn, we're going to continue stitching 1 half double crochet in each of the 17 half double crochets for 7 more rows, or a total of 9 rows for this edge or this side. So we're going to continue stitching 1 half double crochet in each of the 17 half double crochets, chain 1, turn, until we have a total of 9 rows on this side. And then once we do that, we'll go to the other side and stitch the same thing. So just to repeat, 1 half double crochet in each of the 17 half double crochets, chain 1 and turn, for a total of 9 rows for this side of the travel pillow. I stitched 9 rows, only stitching in those first 17. I'm going to cut and tie off my yarn, and we'll weave that in later. Now we need to do the other side, so we're just going to turn over. We'll join our yarn to that first half double crochet, snug it down, and then we'll begin stitching right in that first half double crochet. And again, we're only going to stitch in the first 17 half double crochets across. And this is going to be the other side. This way the pillow fits around the back of your head and kind of sits on your shoulders and keeps your head from flopping around on the guy next to you in the airport. Or even on the plane for that matter. Alrighty, so let's put 1 half double crochet in the first 17 half double crochets. I stitched 1 half double crochet in the first 17, chain 1, and then we're going to turn, and we're going to do it exactly the same as we did this other side. We're going to stitch a total of 9 rows of half double crochets, and then we're going to tie off. 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet, chain 1, turn for a total of 9 rows, and then we'll tie off. And then I'll show you how to put it together. Make sure you got your stuffing ready. I finished my 9th row. I'm going to cut my yarn, and we're going to tie off. I'm just going to put that on the inside for now. And I have my 2 sides done. And this is the way that it's going to look. It is a long, I'll do it this way. We've got one side that has long on this way, and then we have the long center, and then we have the other side. So we're going to take our new yarn, our solid color. We're going to go right in that corner. And something to remember, the outside of your travel pillow is the outside. We're not going to be flipping it over. So make sure you've gone ahead, if you've got strings and edges, and you use that needle and went ahead and weave those to the inside, because we won't be flipping it over. Our outside is the outside. All right, let's join our color in. And we're at this corner, so we're going to go ahead and do 2 more single crochets right here in the corner. On the corners, we're going to be doing 3 single crochets just so it eases around the corner nice and neat. And just in case you're not sure what a single crochet is we're going to be going through both sides of our travel pillow. We'll pull that loop through and go through both loops that are on your hook. We're going to do this all the way across the bottom of our pillow. One single crochet in each single crochet across on both sides, and this just makes a nice little edge. We'll do this all the way across till we get to the other corner, and then I'll show you how to go up the side. So I stitched together the bottom of my travel pillow, and now I'm ready to work up the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 more single crochets in that corner where I put the 1. And then we're going to work up the side of our travel pillow. And what we want to do is still go through both sides of the edge. And it's best to try to go through stitches, not through holes, or you end up with big gaping holes. And when you're going to stuff it, that stuffing might show through. And sometimes when you go through stitches, you will get caught on threads like I just did. And so what we're going to do is we're going to work up the side of our travel pillow, lining it up, and then we'll put 3 single crochets in this last corner. And I kind of stretch as I go, because even though you've done the same amount of rows, sometimes it doesn't fit exactly. And that's a nice thing about yarn, is you can stretch it just a little bit and ease it in and make it fit. We want to make sure that our single crochets are nice and close so that we don't lose any stuffing out the side. Alrighty, so I'm going to stitch up the side, and then I'll show you how to do the corner and go across the top. We came up the side, and now we're at the top portion of the first side, and we're going to we put 1 single crochet in the top stitch, and we're going to put 2 more so that the corner eases around nicely. Each corner on your outside corners will have 3 single crochets. Alright, so now we're just going to single crochet across the top. This one's easy. We have nice stitches to go into. And we'll stitch that across to this corner, and then we're going to stitch down. And when we get to this inside corner, I'll show you how to do that. I've got those 3 single crochets in the corner. I stitched across the top, then I placed 3 single crochets in this corner and stitched down the inside of our first side. And that brings us to the center. And the corner can be a little bit intimidating, but just stitch down the inside, and then when you get to those first stitches, just go right in those first stitches. There's no skipping stitches, there's no adding or anything. Just ease it around, and you can see how it just goes around. We'll stitch across the top of the inside, and we've got stitches to stitch in across. And make sure you're going through both thicknesses or you'll have holes in your pillow. Alright, so we're going across those inside stitches. Whoops. There we go. Almost across. All right, let's make sure we're all lined up. And you're going to do it the same way. You're going to stitch across until you have no more stitches, and then you just start right up the side. We don't add any stitches, we don't subtract any stitches. I got caught on a string. There we go. All right, we'll try that again. We'll go right in that stitch, and we'll come through, and that string wants to catch again. There we go. All right, and then we just start working right up the side like we did on the other side. And you can see how it eases up here, eases around, we go across, and then we just ease around up here. And this is where you have to be just a little bit creative and making sure that you're closing all those stitches and you're putting your stitches close together. Like I said, if you don't put your stitches close together, you could end up with a hole. Now, if you do end up with a hole, once you've got it stitched, I'll show you what to do. It's not the end of the world. It can be fixed. But it's best if you put your stitches close together and you don't have those issues. All right, we're almost back up to the top here. Make sure we're at the corner. There we go. Some more yarn out. All right, and now we're back at the corner, and we'll put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. You can see how that's working. We're going to do what we did over here on this other side. We're going to stitch across the top. And then we're only going to stitch halfway down. And then we're going to stuff it, and then we'll finish stitching down. So I finished stitching around the top and then down this side, and I made a nice big loop where I stopped because we're going to stuff it, and then I'm going to continue on and finish that, and I don't want that to come out. So I just pulled a nice big loop to keep it from coming undone. All right, so now it's time to stuff. So here we go. I just like to take handfuls, stuff it across, get it right up in those corners. And the amount of stuffing that you want to put in, of course, is up to you, how tight you want your pillow to be. And I like mine to be pretty tight, but I also want it to be spongy. If you do it so tight it doesn't have any softness in it, then it's too tight. All right, so I'm just going to keep stuffing my pillow. Make sure I get it up in these corners. Make sure I get enough in the tube portion that goes in the back of the neck. It's getting there, just a little bit more, I think. Some more up in that portion. And then another big handful. There we go. All right, let's make sure. Make sure I get it up in these corners. All right, now if when you're stuffing you come across a spot where you think it has a hole in it, don't panic. I haven't seen any in this one yet, but I'll show you what to do. So I'm going to put one more good handful right in the end, and that just fell right off the table. just to make sure I've got enough down in this corner. All right, so now we need to finish her up. So what we're going to do is put our hook back in that loop, and we're just going to put it together. It's kind of hard with all this stuffing in it, isn't it? All right, and we're just going to close up the side, continuing to stitch single crochets to the side. Got some escapees there, huh? All righty, almost done. Making sure it's lined up nice and even. Oops, I'm going to put that one a little closer together. There we go. Couple more stitches here. All right, now we're just going to join to that first single crochet. Cut that yarn and tie off. And then we'll use our needle and we want to make sure this one's weaved in really good, because this is a place we just do not want it to come out. One way, go back the other way, go down a stitch and go back the other way. All right, now just a quick tip, what do we do if we have a spot where the stuffing is peeking through? Well, what you'll need to do is just cut you a piece of matching yarn and just take your needle and thread it on there. Let's see. Let's pretend like it's right down here. And all you'd need to do is to go behind like this, let your thread hang, and just make a couple of stitches. And it'll blend in because you're using the same color of yarn. Like that. And then you can weave that in to the back, and it hardly will even be noticeable. So now the little travel pillow is all finished. And you can add the little pocket, and I'm getting ready to show you how to do that, and then also a little strap so that you can hook it on to your bag or your luggage. To make the pocket, we're going to be using the solid blue, just for contrast. You don't have to. We're going to make a slip knot and chain 11 chains. Alrighty, there's our 11 chains. And now we're going to place 1/2 double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So there's the first one. We'll go right in that second chain and stitch a 1/2 double crochet. And then we'll stitch 1/2 double crochet in each chain across. This is going to give us 10 1/2 double crochets because we started with 11 chains and then we began stitching in the second chain from the hook. So here is our 10 1/2 double crochets. We're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn. And then we're going to place 1/2 double crochet in each 1/2 double crochet across, just like we did at the beginning of our pillow, only a lot smaller. There we go. Get some yarn out over there. So now we have 2 rows with 10 1/2 double crochets in each row. So now we need to repeat this row for 5 more rows for a total of 7 rows. So we're going to place 1 half double crochet in each half double crochet across, chain 1 and turn till we have a total of 7 rows. And this makes a nice little pocket to put your earbuds in. And I've got a knot I need to deal with. I've stitched 7 rows, 10 half double crochets in each row. And now we're going to do a row and add a little buttonhole. So we're going to place 1 half double crochet in the first 4 stitches. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to skip these next 2 stitches and then place 1 half double crochet in the last 4. We're going to chain 1 just to snug it down, and this is how it will look. 7 rows and then a little buttonhole on our last row. Now you're going to need to cut your yarn, but I want you to leave on a good amount of yarn, maybe about 24 inches, so that we can sew this onto our pillow. To sew it onto your pillow, you're going to want to put it on one of the 2 sides that come down. Now I'm right-handed, so I want to be able to reach across and get my earbuds on the left side. But it's up to you which side you want to add your little pocket on. I'm just going to stick that string under for now. Then we're going to thread our yarn onto our needle. And if you want to put this in place, holding it with a pin or something, you certainly can. I just sort of line it up and eyeball it with the rows that are there. And then I just stitch it on. And I just do what I call whip stitches. I'm going to go through the stitch on the pillow and the stitch on the pocket. And just whip stitch it on. Whoops, got caught in my scissors. There we go. And we'll just stitch all the way around. Down, across, and then back up top. And that'll make a nice pillow to hold our earbuds. I'm smashing it with my hand so I can find those stitches. I've got my pillow all sewed on, and now I'm going to add my button. I'm just going to push that down a little bit so that I can put my button on. And I chose this little white one. Whoops! And I chose this little white one. Just going to get that stitched on. Make sure it's going to stay put. Nice tight knots. Whoa! And we'll clip that. And then you just take that little strap and stick it right over the button. All right, so the last thing we're going to do is add a button and a strap across here, and that way you can button it and unbutton it and hang it on your purse or your bag or your luggage. So to make that little strap, we're going to make our slip knot, and we're going to chain 17. Now we want to make a button loop at the end, and so we're going to skip 1, 2, 3 chains, and we're going to begin slip stitching in the 4th chain. To slip stitch, you put your hook through, pull that loop through, and then pull that loop through the loop on your hook. And this is going to give us a little hole for a buttonhole. And then we're just going to slip stitch back down that chain. And that's just going to make it a little bit sturdier for our pillow. Once you have slip stitched back down your chain, then just tie off and make sure you have a little bit of yarn to work with, because we're going to need to use that to sew that back on, or to sew it onto your bag. Now, since I already have some yarn on my needle, I'm going to go ahead and just sew my button on, and it goes right on the corner. And you're just going to go back and forth. And just sew that until you're satisfied that it's on there nice and tight. I'm going to add a couple of knots, because I don't want my button going anywhere. One more good measure. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the yarn. We're going to go right in this corner. We're just going to stitch that a couple of times, going through the end of that chain to the back. And then I'm going to take the other piece that's left there, and I'm just going to go through the chain and sew it to the back of the pillow. And then again, I'm going to add a couple of knots. If you're worried that your knots are going to come out, you can use a little fabric glue or fray check, and that will keep it from coming undone. And now you have this strap, and all you do is you take this strap, and with that little buttonhole, you just push the button through it like that. And now you can hang this when you're not using it, of course. You don't want to have this strapped when you're using it. But you can hang this onto your suitcase, your luggage, your purse, your bag, or even just on your arm. Put your arm through and just hook it on your elbow and carry it when you're walking through the airport or into your hotel room or whatever you're doing. You've got it so that you won't lose it. So that's our travel pillow. Super easy to make. Mostly made out of half double crochets and chains and single crochets. Super easy and super, super duper useful.